which needs to.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Governance Committee meeting for September 16th. Call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to accept the minutes from the August 21st, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are accepted. Next, we open the meeting up to public comment. If anyone would like to address the Governance Committee meeting, they have 5 minutes. We just ask that you give your name and address.
John's not here.
Seeing none, we'll close the public comment section of the meeting. Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the acquisition, construction, renovation, and equipping of property of 191 Corporate Drive and 196 Corporate Drive in the town of Kirkwood, to be used for light manufacturing and storage of finished goods, focusing on batteries and hand pallet trucks, and appointing the Raymond Corporation, the company, agents of the agency for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, renovating, and equipping the project, and to provide for sales and use tax exemption benefit in the amount not to exceed $1,448,000, and to provide a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $2,380,110, including and authorizing a payment in lieu of tax agreement, the schedule for which is attached hereto as Exhibit A, and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents with respect thereto.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I'm not there in person with you. I am actually at the Industrial Asset Management Council, or IAMC, which we are a member of, Fall Forum here in Quebec. If you recall, we moved this meeting date to accommodate one of our project applicants' applications to Homes and Community Renewal. So I will do this from here in Quebec. So today's application from Raymond, the action of the board would be to approve the requested benefits. We did host a public hearing on September 10th. I believe that transcript, which was very brief, I'm sure, was provided to the board. Just a brief recap. I know you have applications in your packet. Raymond Corporation has recently purchased 191 and 196 Corporate Drive in the town of Kirkwood, thus expanding their operations officially into Broome County, which is great news. Project will transform those locations for light manufacturing and finished goods storage, including local vertical integration of battery assembly under the brand of Raymond Energy Storage Solutions. That will streamline their operations, improve competitiveness in the market, and as well, additional manufacturing and storage capacity will help them maintain a market edge and grow their business. So if they did host, just for the record, they did host a official sort of grand opening to announce their location now here in Broome County. They have made some modest improvements to the exteriors of the building, including things like signage and landscaping. But everything that they are applying for is with regard to the renovation and fit out of the actual storage solutions business, as well as warehousing. So none of the exterior improvements, if you will, are included in their request to us. You have a cost benefit analysis in your packet, but just a reminder of some of the project. We're looking at a total investment of over $28 million, including nearly $4.9 million in payroll, as well as nearly $21 million in new annual wages for construction jobs. So very strong project. They're seeking a standard 15-year industrial pilot. Again, today's action would approve the said request.
Any questions or comments? No?
Great ratio of benefit to cost.
It's a really good one.
And great that they're coming into Broome County. I can't believe this is the first project that they're physically in Broome County. It seems like they've been here before.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the acquisition, construction, renovation, and equipping of property and buildings located in the city of Binghamton to include the substantial renovation of 8 existing residential structures into 19 units of housing and the new construction of an existing vacant lot of an additional 19 residential units and 2 commercial spaces, all to be located at 20 Winding Way, 27 Dickinson Street, 41 Clinton Street, 241 Front Street, 274 Front Street, 276 Front Street, 10 Mather Street, 242 Front Street, and 251 Front Street, all within the city of Binghamton, to be known as the First Ward Gateway Revitalization Project, and appointing the First Ward Action Council Incorporated, the company, agent of the agency for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, renovating, and equipping the project, and provide for a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $216,197, including authorizing a payment in lieu of taxes agreement, copy which pilot schedule is attached here to as Exhibit A, and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents with respect thereto.
Okay, as well, today's action by the board would be to approve the requested benefit by First Ward Action Council for the First Ward Gateway project. I won't read all of the project description, but as a reminder, this project includes the renovation of 8 residential structures, as was noted, into 19 units of housing, and as well new construction on Clinton Street. The rest of the properties are scattered throughout the first ward of the city of Binghamton and along Clinton Street as well. A total of 38 units will be developed, serving households between 30 and 60% of area median income in a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Total project includes approximately 20,000 square feet of residential and 2,000 square feet of commercial. The commercial space will be on the Clinton Street property. As you can imagine, with a property like this, there are a number of New York State agencies involved, including an application to the next round of the low-income housing tax credit program, which is due Wednesday. So part of the reason we're considering this today, the state does want to see a pilot in place for these applications. New York State Housing Trust Funds, New York State Clean Energy Initiative Funds, New York State Restore New York, City of Binghamton, CDBG, and County Land Bank funds. In addition, the commercial space has support from community investment funds and New York State Empire State Development Funds. Given the amount of investment of nearly $16.2 million, that's a modest property tax exemption of roughly $216,197. Total job creation includes 88 local construction jobs with a payroll of $6 million and a 3-year payroll annually of about 46,000 for over those 3 years, so totaling 138,000. Also, we did host a public hearing on September 10th. Again, that one was not attended, no attendees to that one, so the transcript should be fairly brief. Any questions?
I do have one. When First Ward Action Council did a bunch of renovations in that general area before, a lot of the houses had wood siding as opposed to vinyl siding. To me, that seemed like it was bizarre that in 10 or 15 years, somebody is gonna have to go back in and paint. They had a lot of front porches and stuff like that. I don't know that we have any way of telling them how to do what they're doing, but I would be interested in their knowing that they ought to have vinyl siding or some kind of exterior covering that was maintenance free.
Yeah, Mike, I don't think, it doesn't appear we have anyone from First Ward on the call. The only thing I can think of, and I don't know if this is factual, but potentially, if any of those homes were considered to be historic, that might be requirements for how they're finished, but I don't, off that, we can get you an answer, an explanation to that, but that top of mind was the only thing I could think of, but we'll certainly ask Jerry Willard that question as to.
Even if not historic, SHPO has final say, right? So I mean, SHPO can
SHPO does weigh in on these.
fire,
It's, yeah,
even if it may cost
Yeah, I
a
think a
lot.
number of those houses are turn of the century houses on Clinton Street.
Yeah.
They're pretty old, so I think that's why they wanted to keep the original character of the houses.
yeah, and I'm guessing SHPO, and I believe SHPO's involved in this, so SHPO, to Peter's point, ultimately will have say as to how those houses are finished, which runs up cost, to be honest, but it's, yeah. The
Well,
world,
obviously, the new construction is a different story. I mean,
Yeah.
they're free to be more,
Right.
you know.
sure, for sure.
Okay,
Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
yeah, I think.
Is there a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution accepting an application from the Wayne Group of New York LLC, the company, for a leaseback transaction to facilitate the financing of the acquisition, renovation, and equipping of the property and buildings situated at 435 Main Street in Johnson City. To provide for sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $560,000. Provide for a mortgage tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $160,500. Provide for real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $3,131,208. And to authorize the agency to set and conduct a public hearing with respect thereto.
Thank you. So this is a new application. So today's action would be to accept the application for purposes of inducing a public hearing. This is a renovation project in the village of Johnson City that has also garnered an award from the New York State Downtown Revitalization Initiative. This is the renovation of, some may recall it as the former Johnson City High School. Most of us probably think of it as NIPEN Trade Center, which has sat relatively, for the most part, I won't say completely vacant, but certainly underutilized for a number of years. The project at 435 Main Street is also in what's state recognized innovation, or I district. I think it's also in an opportunity zone. It currently features 2 historic 3-story masonry and steel commercial buildings constructed in 1914 and 1926, serving as noted as the high school and gymnasium. These buildings total approximately 100,000 square foot of floor area, including the basement, and the site is eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. I believe it has been added to, or is in process of being added to, and I believe the developer will seek historic tax credits, and they've brought on experts in securing those tax credits. The project involves acquiring the site and adaptive reuse. The high school building will be renovated and reconstructed for 58 market rate residential rental apartments, comprising of 48 1-bedroom, 10 2-bedroom, and 10 2-bedroom units, covering a total of 48,000 square feet. Will also include a residence lounge. Gymnasium will be repurposed into approximately 12,000 square feet of commercial space. It is my understanding they have a commercial and nonprofit tenant that is set to vote on a long-term, I believe, a 5-year with a 5-year renewal at subsequently 5-year renewal terms. This is a strong tenant. I think they're voting this week. It also will be connected to a workforce training program that would be located at the site. The project would include improvements to the surrounding site, including 40 additional parking spaces, the acquisition and installation of necessary furniture, fixtures, and equipment to support residential commercial uses. And it aims to revitalize the historic site while contributing to the continued redevelopment and revitalization of Johnson City. from Project Dynamics, roughly $20.2 million total project cost. With 270,000 in yearly payroll at 1.5 FTEs over the 3-year period. Construction jobs, and they have adhered to our local labor policy, 80 construction jobs totaling $6.6 million for a total exemption of roughly 4.8 million, including sales and mortgage recording tax. You have a cost benefit analysis and additional project information in your packet. I don't think Conan Saratani is there yet, but it's my understanding he will be at the full board meeting at noon. So he would be available to answer any additional questions.
Any questions or comments?
It's a comment, principal for the group, Mark Lane, has a relationship with M&T Bank. I'll abstain from this discussion and vote.
Thank you.
Hey,
Pete.
Stacy.
Yeah.
We've been doing a really good job in terms of calculating the cost benefits.
Mhm.
You know, this one's 4-to-1, and that doesn't include the laundry list of other benefits you articulated.
Mhm.
At what point do we say at what point do we say that's not great for us?
I mean, I think ultimately that would have to be a determination of the board, that you would want to see a minimum threshold, you know, cost benefit to cost return. We would have to spend some time kind of calculating what those criteria would be for minimum, you know, threshold, that if it's at, you know, below a 4-to-1 or below a certain amount, we would want to either negotiate the pilot differently or do some, you know, some outcome from their end. So I think it would have to be maybe a few board members and staff coming up with some criteria at the moment. Yeah, I mean,
I say just, I want to interject just a second. I believe this shows a less benefit because of the job. There's really no job creation with housing. So if we looked at it a little bit differently as to what it's bringing to the area, that's really what, you know, because it's missing that big chunk of payroll that normally
I
would boost
would
it.
say you're, making an eyesore, presentable also.
Yeah, there's a little.
Agreed.
You
I go by it all the time.
have a
Yeah.
building there that really is deplorable
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I mean,
I'm just, I guess my point was that that's why it drops.
It's almost like land
the
bank
cost benefit.
stuff.
yeah, I mean, that's where I think non-financial, you know, benefit on your investment, you know, how do we give some sort of quantitative, you know, analysis of that, of rehabbing a decade-long underutilized. I mean, looking at the pilot structure on this one, I mean, it is given the term, it's a strong pilot for the municipalities, and they're getting 60% of the new payment, which, you know, a building of that scale has really been underutilized from a taxing perspective.
Sure.
I think our new pilot structure has actually provided a stronger benefit to the taxing entities, you know, quite frankly, 'cause, you know, we're structuring those. But yeah, I mean, happy to look at some additional ways of measuring that cost benefit and seeing, you know, is it a discussion at the pilot level? Is it a short, you know, is it something we can negotiate with the developers?
Okay, thanks. I wanted to raise it only because this one's as skinny as it's been,
Yeah,
and it doesn't include a host of other benefits. If you ever, not that we do, but you know, if you look at the total governmental investment in this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's probably, I don't know. You wonder if it's even gonna be positive when you get done, but it's a good project in terms of that is an eyesore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a major parcel, and if you don't do something with it, there's gonna be a wrecking ball at some point.
Yeah, or you know, I think it's been somewhat immune from, you know, people breaking in and this and that, but it's those large buildings become problematic. And just ironically enough, one of our sessions tomorrow is on getting sort of best practices in negotiating property tax incentive programs. So I will take copious notes from you all on that, so.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Any other additional questions or comments? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And one abstention. Motion is carried. Guess that's all we have for the governance committee right now. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Stace, I'm just gonna turn off our.
Yep, that's fine. I'll be back. I'm not moving.
That's-
Yeah.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency of September 16th, 2024. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes of our August 21st, 24 board meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Peter. Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the IDA? Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes if you will. We're going to close the public comment session. Executive Director's Report. Stacy, who's joining us online.
Oh, you're muted, Stace.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry not to be with you in person. I'm here in Quebec City for the Industrial Asset Management Council Fall Forum. So this was scheduled before we moved our meeting date, so my apologies for not being there in person. But I do have a number of updates, so I will start with some of the easier ones first. First, I just want to make sure, and while she's in person, I'm not, just to welcome and introduce you all to Gabby Dean, our new executive assistant. She's been with us for about not quite a month, but already doing a fantastic job for us, and we're really excited to have her with us. So you'll see her name a lot moving forward. Couple updates with regard to the Broome Tech Park. We did host our public hearing related to the state environmental quality review on September 10th. I don't know, Natalie, I don't believe the transcript is officially gone out yet, but it's forthcoming. If it is not, we will get that to you all. I would say in total, we had about 30 to 40 attendees. Many of them are the same individuals who have voiced concerns on the park. The hearing was related to the draft scoping document, so we did receive some very good thought questions on the draft scoping document that we will incorporate to our review. That we are in a public comment period until September 24th. And from there, we will incorporate any comments we think make sense to add to this document and then bring this back to the board for the final scoping document, most likely by the October meeting. So that's ongoing. We are planning to issue, we're just reviewing the first draft. We are planning to issue an RFQ for engineering and construction services for our 600 Main Street, our FAST award. That is to build out and construct a shovel-ready pad at that site with our $11 million FAST award. We're also working with the state on a structure to do drawdowns associated with our line of credit with NBT that the board passed earlier in the year. So that's moving forward. Couple quick updates on projects we are tracking that I would say are a little bit murky right now. Crowley Lofts has reached the 1-year mark on approval of the benefit, which typically is when we check in and identify if we believe within reason the project will move forward. We are planning to invoice our third installment per our new fee structure. That agency fee gets paid down over in quarterly increments, regardless of whether the project is closed. And our conversation with them they've stated to us they are reviewing construction estimates and planning to move forward. But we are watching that one closely, and we'll make a recommendation within the next few months as to what to do with that project. Pilot benefit. One North Depot, as you know, the board had voted to terminate that pilot benefit for lack of progress on the project. And as well, non-compliance, the project is still, does still owe outstanding pilot payments to the taxing entities. We are working with the county to make sure those payments are made. But we are issuing formal termination documents and working to get those payments made on that one. Good news on closing. We are planning to close with Regan Development for Homesteads on Grand in October. So Joe and Susan have crafted the closing docs, or working on the closing docs, and we'll get those out to Regan Development so that we can close on that one. And that's ready to close with New York State as well. So that one's moving forward very well. This one is one that's going to take a few minutes, but it's an important one that I did not want to just add to this agenda because we have a fair amount of items. Town and Country. Town and Country is a project that we had approved a pilot benefit for, I believe just a few months back. It has received the approval from New York State Homes and Community Renewals to receive the low-income housing tax credit, the 9% competitive round. They are New York State, and the developer is still planning to close in October, ideally, or sometime shortly thereafter. But they've come to us recently with some changes to the project that I think will require the process to sort of begin again, as far as a new application and a new public hearing, and then ultimately a new vote on the benefit. And here's the four main changes that are associated. So just as background, the New York State has approved the project for all state financing, including subsidy and tax credits, and ideally would like to close in October. However, changes to the application are mostly numbers driven due to an expanded scope to include further rehabilitation of the property and operations that were reevaluated by the new sponsor team. So there have been changes to the ownership structure, but they have been approved by New York State. The four main changes include a change of ownership. A new owner entity is needed to mitigate environmental issues associated with prior ownership. The pilot has shifted upwards due to this expanded scope. The pilot benefit that was originally approved there's an increase of about $608,000 in additional pilot benefit due to the expanded scope. Development costs have increased by over 10 million, including hard costs and acquisition. Thus also, and all of this does also increase the agency development fee. Sales and mortgage exemption also have increased due to additional development costs. So I just threw a lot of stuff at you. But so basically that's all to say we are looking to get a new application. Natalie's working with the development team on that one. We're hoping to get that within the next few days, which we will issue to the board as soon as we receive that. To keep with the state's preferred closing of sometime mid to late October. This will likely require a special meeting and public hearing, and then approval meeting. Ideally, if we can do it at our regular October meeting, we'll strive for that. Talked with the mayor of Binghamton. He strongly supports this change, strongly supports this project, and is planning to attend any meeting. So I just want to give you that update. There's a lot involved. I'll answer any questions you may have now, but certainly we'll forward all of this information to you in writing as well, so you have it. But I'm happy to answer any questions now.
No, if we're going to a new application, then that's fine, and then we can just take it from there.
Yep. Yeah. So there might be a time crunch if we're trying to, to accommodate the city and the state's goals of closing on this one. But they do need significant amount of rehab. So we're happy to see that project advanced. So more to come on that one, but I just wanted to give you background before we throw the application and everything at you with a request for a meeting.
So I have a note here regarding possibly holding a special meeting this Thursday at 8 AM. Does that
If
dovetail?
we receive, if we receive a full and complete application, Nat's been working on the application. It had a lot of need for some corrections, clarifications. So she's working on that. So I would suggest that, so if we receive that, we have not yet as of today. As soon as we receive that, we'll work probably from there on scheduling a special meeting just to accept and induce the public hearing, because we're trying to do this ideally in 4 to 6 weeks. If we can.
Okay, so more to follow as it relates to the date.
Yep, and I'll have Natalie and Gabby follow up on any meeting requests, but right now you haven't received the final. You've issued sort of a redlined version and we're waiting on their updated application.
Correct.
Any questions for Stacy on her report itself? Preliminary financial statements are through August 23rd. It's kind of a strange date, but that's purely because of traveling finance people, I believe. We'll have
Gina is on maternity leave and we had Teresa Ryan as our interim step back in, but she was also was out of the country. So she did everything she could before she left. So that's why they're through the 23rd. And when she gets back, we'll give you that the remaining financials.
Perfect, thank you. And any questions on the loan activity reports for Natalie?
Just quick question on the Antonio's. It continues now. It's 120 days. Do we charge late fees or default interest that adds, so this balance is going up?
It'll continue.
Yes.
The late fees, whatever.
It's
it
still
is.
non-responsive?
Nothing.
No, they haven't exactly,
Any other questions on?
but
the
again, it'll be all added in, Peter.
Crazy.
Any other
That's
questions
not that
on
much money.
the loan activity report?
Not that much money.
With the credit card.
Crazy.
Okay, moving on to new business, resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the acquisition, construction, renovation, and equipping of property located at 191 Corporate Drive and 196 Corporate Drive in the town of Kirkwood, Broome County, New York, to be used for light manufacturing and storage of finished goods, focusing on batteries and hand pallet trucks, and appointing the Raymond Corporation, the company, agent of the agency for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, renovating, and equipping the project, and to provide for a sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $1,448,000, and to provide for a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $2,380,110, including authorizing a payment in lieu of tax agreement, the schedule for which is attached here to as Exhibit A, and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents with respect thereto. Mayor,
Governance Committee moves it forward as a motion to approve.
thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Mike. Any discussion or would you like input from Stacy on this project? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Item number 7. Resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the acquisition, construction, renovation, and equipping of property and buildings located in the city of Binghamton, Broome County, New York, to include the substantial renovation of 8 existing residential structures into 19 units of housing and the new construction on an existing vacant lot of an additional 19 residential units and 2 commercial spaces, all to be located at 20 Winding Way, 27 Dickinson Street, 41 Clinton Street, 241 Front Street, 274 Front Street, 276 Front Street, 10 Mather Street, 242 Front Street, and 251 Front Street, all within the city of Binghamton, Broome County, New York, to be known as the First Ward Gateway Revitalization Project, and appointing the First Ward Action Council, Inc., the company agent of the agency for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, renovating, and equipping the project, and to provide for a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $216,197, including authorizing a payment in lieu of tax agreement, copy of which pilot schedules is attached here to as Exhibit A, and authorizing the execution and delivery of certain documents with respect thereto. Mayor.
Governance Committee moves it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second? Jim, thank you. Any discussion or questions for Stacy on this topic?
Yeah, just a quick question. We discussed at the last meeting, maybe getting a map. Yeah. Like a GDI. Oh, you have one? Oh,
I was just,
okay.
yeah, I was actually just gonna tell you that, yes, it was in the packet, and then I did provide it in all your folders.
Oh, you did? Oh, it's in
Yes.
here.
Yep,
Right.
here, yep.
Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's have
Natalie.
a vote. Say what?
She just thanked me. so.
Oh, I just said thank you, Natalie. Sorry.
Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Item number 8, resolution accepting an application from the Lane Group of New York or NY LLC, the company, for a leaseback transaction to facilitate the financing of the acquisition, renovation, and equipping of the property and buildings situate at 435 Main Street, Broome County Tax Map number 143.55-1-57 and 435 Main Street rear, Broome County Tax Map number 143.56-1-12.111, both located in the Village of Johnson City, Town of Union, Broome County, New York, to provide for a sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $560,000, to provide for a mortgage tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $160,500, to provide for a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $3,131,208, and to authorize the agency to set and conduct a public hearing with respect thereto. Mayor, this came out of governance?
Yes, governance moves us forward with the motion to approve.
Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. Any discussion or initial questions for Stacy?
Yeah, actually, just a quick one. Do we know what the size of the apartments are gonna be? How many square foot?
I think they are probably, I'm trying to think, there's this layout. I know they provided a fair amount of layouts in
Yeah, if it's on there, it's too small to see. No, but it's not a big deal. I
Yeah.
just was curious.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we'll go through their presentation, which I know has, and is there no, Natalie, is there no representative? I know they were opponents there, Andy represent, they were supposed to be here, but well, let me see, I did just find some of the schematics. But I don't see that breakdown, but we can get that for you and email
yeah,
them.
I'm just curious. It's not a big deal. This is 100% market rate, right?
It is.
Okay. Do we
It
know
is.
what the rents are gonna be? We should know that.
The rents, my understanding is that they will be somewhere in the range of 1,000. They wanted to price some at a what would be considered a lower market rate value now. To I believe up to 1,800, but we'll get you the actual rent rolls on that one too.
I think the plans in our packet don't show the dimensions of the apartments, but list the gross square footage. And they range from give or take 500 to around a little over 1,000.
500, that's not much for
Like
market rate.
Efficiency.
a studio
Yeah,
apartment, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, and there was some confusion because this does have some DRI award and there was, the narrative was they were calling it affordable, but what they mean by that is affordable market rate. They're not planning any housing tax credit programs. They are planning as far as state incentive, historic tax credits and they have the DRI, and I do believe they are in discussion. It's connected to the commercial user, which should be voted on this week, which is a nonprofit, strong user, strong tenant, and connected to workforce training as well. I believe there is some remaining ARPA dollars, and Greater Binghamton Fund dollars that should be outlined in the application as well.
Yeah, if those rents are correct, I'm glad to hear that because I think there's really a need for that middle income type of housing.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. And this, it was a well-received project by this Department of State for the DRI. So I envision that will be one that will advance, barring any unforeseen challenges. It should be a strong project for the DRI as well.
Any additional questions for Stacy? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Thank you, Peter. Motion carried. Moving on to an executive session, looking for a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters.
If I may know, in addition, I don't know if it's on the revised, also the potential disposition of property.
Who's the first?
Peter, I think, motioned.
Dan.
Then Dan.
And
Thank you. Item number 10, resolution approving the executive employment agreement with the executive director. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thanks, Jim. Is there a second? Thanks,
Second.
Dan. Any discussion? Have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. There is no old business or any new business that we've missed, correct, Stacy?
correct.
Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Dan. Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. Welcome to this meeting of the Broome County Local Development Corporation of September 16, 2024. Calling this meeting to order and looking for an approval of the minutes or a motion to approve the minutes of our August 21st, 2024 board meeting. Thanks, Mike. Is there a second?
Yes.
Is there any? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Coming to the part of our agenda where we have a public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the LDC, please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes if you will. We're going to close this public comment session and moving on to new business. Item number 4. Resolution approving 15 separate small business development grants from Broome County American Rescue Plan funds for the purpose of supporting small business development to advance the interests of the citizens of Broome County. Amy.
Thank you, John. Just as a reminder, everyone, back in June of this year, Broome County awarded $500,000 to the agency to establish the Broome County Small Business Development Grant Program to provide financial assistance to support the retention and expansion of small businesses here in Broome County. In total, the agency received over 200 inquiries via our website and phone calls into the program, resulting in 57 applications, totaling $2,569,894.30 in funding requests. The grant was offered as a reimbursement grant program, meaning the expenditures had to have already taken place, or for construction projects, work was already underway, and proof of labor needed to be provided. Eligible businesses, which for the purpose of this program were for-profit profitable businesses operating in Broome County for at least 3 years with 200 or fewer employees, were able to submit those expenditures for reimbursement up to $50,000. Projects went through several rounds of review and rewards were selected based off the following criteria: how project helps the business expand their operations or services, the number of jobs created or retained by the project, project readiness, eligibility of expenses, and then priority was given to minority, women, veteran, business-owned enterprises. So today for the board's approval, we have 15 applications who have satisfied all of the base eligibility requirements in addition to the additional review criteria. All grant awardees will be required to enter into a SBDG grant agreement with the agency prior to the issuance of grant funds. So contingent on board approval today, we will be contacting all awardees in the next week to get that process going, in addition to informing the remaining applicants whether or not they were selected for the program.
May I just add before, I just want to give note and acknowledge Amy's incredible amount of work and diligence and going through all these. As we had almost $2.9 million of ask for 500,000. So you can imagine the amount of applications. So I just want to thank her for a lot of great work on that.
Let me further that point. Amy inherited this. This
Yes.
really was someone else's project who will remain nameless. So Amy inherited it midstream, and in fairness, she killed herself to put this together. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that said, questions for Amy? Actually, looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. Now, discussion.
That's what I say. I went through the list. This is a great cross-section, I think, of small businesses in Broome County. I mean, it really is. It's a great cross-section. And I mean, all these businesses can use this, and hopefully this will just have a real positive impact on these businesses, but it really, I think it's just a nice cross-section of small business in Broome County, and it's just well distributed.
Yeah, as a quick summary, we have of our selected winners, 5 manufacturers, 1 bakery who's been in business for over 100 years, 3 restaurants, a brewery, 2 professional offices, 2 retail locations, and of the 15 selected, 7 of the 15 are MWBDs. So we really held true to our prioritization of our minority, women, veteran business applicants.
That's good. Yeah,
Additional questions, Mike?
I noticed that several of them, put down, they wanted the money for, rent and utilities. And I thought that was a little bit strange.
So we had actually, when we had made this program with Broome County, had kept it a pretty wide range of eligible costs. So under there was furniture and fixtures, machinery, equipment, real estate acquisitions, real estate improvements, and then fixed working capital. So that's kind of where that rent piece came in. There was a lot of businesses that, you know, we worked together with the county and we decided we're still kind of struggling from the aftermath of COVID. We were hearing a lot from our partners at the chamber and then from the county government that, you know, that was that missing piece that was still needed amongst grant programs for our business community.
Okay, no, I think, I wouldn't want the job myself.
You can have the next one. I'll give you the next one.
Any other
So
questions?
I appreciate all the work that went into
course.
that, okay?
Any other questions for Amy or Stacy? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm abstaining from this. I was rather involved in the process.
Thank you.
Amy had to put up
Appreciate
with
your
it.
support too, John. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Looking for a motion to go into executive session relative to the sale or acquisition of property. I think it's the sale button. That's a Peter motion. Is there a second? Dan, thank
Second.
you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's do it. Thank you, Amy. Item number 5, resolution authorizing a second amendment to the purchase agreement by and between the Broome County Local Development Corporation and Conifer Realty LLC on behalf of 4301 Watson Boulevard LLC dated April 18th, 2022, extending the closing date thereof through December 31st, 2025. And the obvious details of that resolution, or details of that agreement will include a cancellation clause if in fact there's no funding awarded in this round.
Correct.
That's it. Looking for a motion.
Don't move.
Thank you, Mike. Is there a second? Thank you, Elaine. Any discussion or further discussion? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And mark me as an abstention. Carried. Any old business to cover? Missing any new business? Looking for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Dan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. There we go.